Hey guys, it's been a while since I've done one of these, but something happened this week to science as we know it in America, and I wanted to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it while sewing on a quilt that I've been working on and listening to some Pink Floyd. So, in case you missed it, on Thursday, there was an announcement that came out of the Office of Management and Budget um, about some changed rules as to how funding is allocated at the federal level for science in America. And so some of these rule changes include that now political appointees will have a more dominant role in overseeing the grant selection panel process, the peer review process. So, for instance, at an agency like the National Science Foundation, now political appointees, not necessarily trained experts and researchers in that field, will, it seems, have the final say over which projects do and don't get funded, which proposals go through in advance and which do not. And that's a problem, right? Because scientific research should be based on quantitative evidence, right? This should be an evidence-based decision based on, what's the best data that can be collected for the American people, right? It's in our public interest to have a standardized, independent peer review process. So introducing a political component to this is deeply concerning. That's not it, though. So beyond having political oversight into the proposal review process, there are also proposed rule changes that are going to go into effect about researcher political affiliations. So, for instance, if you have a researcher who is, self-avowed member of Antifa or identifies as a leftist, now there are mechanisms in place at the federal level such that that can be taken into consideration as to who does or doesn't get funded, which research projects advance out of peer review to be funded. That's really fucked up, right? That's deeply troubling. In addition to that, there are new rules overseeing how funding is allocated for travel to conferences. And so this is going to have deep impacts to professional societies, like, for instance, the American Fisheries Society or the Society for Freshwater Science. And so just overall, as a whole, these rule changes are going to have sweeping effects to how science is funded and how it's carried out. And this all trickles down from the federal government. So it's deeply concerning. I cannot, in good conscience, look at a young person graduating with a bachelor's right now and say, yes, you should stay in the United States to do your master's or your doctoral research, right? This is not a safe place to be pursuing a career in scientific research right now. It's not safe, and it's just these new rules are increased measures to muzzle scientists, to flag any projects that have anything to do with climate change, anything that has anything remotely woke, or things that come off as hitting certain keywords, like diversity, equity, inclusion, things like that. All of that's getting screened out, and that is to our detriment. That is not in your best interest, regardless of your political affiliation. You are not going to be healthier, you are not going to be safer moving forward, and you are not going to benefit from the full might of American innovation and research because of these devastating changes to the way that research funding is allocated in America. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, something you should be caring about. I know there's a gazillion things happening in the world. It's